The last Indian residential school in North America didn't close in the 1800s or even the early 1900s. It closed in 1996 in Saskatchewan, Canada, which means if you're under 30, this was happening during your lifetime, and the trauma of these institutions is still affecting families right now, not generations ago. Ready to find out how a system designed to kill the Indian, save the man, operated for over 150 years and only ended when people your age were already born? Indian residential schools and boarding schools were government-funded, church-run institutions where Native children were forcibly taken from their families, forbidden from speaking their languages, stripped of their cultural identity, and subjected to systematic abuse. Over 150,000 children passed through the Canadian system alone, and thousands died from disease, malnutrition, and mistreatment. In the United States, the boarding school system started in 1879 with Carlisle Indian Industrial School, where founder Richard Henry Pratt explicitly stated the goal was to kill the Indian in him and save the man, meaning erase every trace of Indigenous identity and replace it with Euro-American culture. Children as young as 4 were taken from their homes by force, had their hair cut, were given English names, forced into uniforms, and punished severely for speaking their native languages. This wasn't education, it was systematic cultural elimination, backed by government policy. Abuse was rampant. Children were beaten for speaking their languages, denied food as punishment, and forced into hard labor. While staff faced little accountability, thousands of survivors have come forward describing treatment that authorities deliberately ignored to protect the institutions. Thousands of children died in these schools. Mass graves are still being discovered at former residential school sites in Canada, with ground-penetrating radar finding hundreds of unmarked burial sites where children were buried without families even being notified of their deaths. The Gordon Indian Residential School in Saskatchewan, which closed in 1996, operated for 98 years, nearly a century, of taking children and returning traumatized individuals who struggled to reconnect with families and communities they'd been forcibly separated from for years. In 2021, the discovery of 215 unmarked graves at Kamloops Indian Residential School shocked the world and led to investigations finding thousands of potential burial sites at schools across Canada. The full death toll may never be known. The intergenerational trauma from residential schools is still impacting Native communities. Today, survivors passed trauma to their children who passed it to theirs, creating cycles that communities